and very heavy disconnection with Christ itself, about this. And this is the main thing that I try to share my experience, how to create this balance between the spiritual and between the material. If we have only material, of course our soul will not be happy. If we have only spiritual, but we don't have connection with the earth, we don't have material protection, also we need this balance, to find this balance. When maybe some of you have some like not understanding in families between relatives, it could be so. Why it is so? Because some like negative influence, some bad spirits came through this whole like flow of energy through ancestors, some negative influence, some bad spirits, and they're trying to damage, to break this love between people, between relatives. But when we start to do spiritual practice, when we start to pray, to gather in the circle, to make meditations, to do rituals, this helps. Because this power of light, of spiritual energy, harmonize and transform all negative influence from bad spirits. Even some of my students, they have very strong bad spirits. Some of them, they influence on the disease, they have the disease. For example, in several generations, they could have cancer. What does mean cancer? Yes, thank you. Correct. That's right. Cancer, it's also the bad spirit. The disease of poverty, what is it? It's also bad spirit, which is trying to destroy our energy, our body, our health. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Thank you very much. And what I wanted to share with you, it's about a level of purification and influence of these bad spirits inside our ancestral family lineage. Because sometimes we think that if, for example, we have some problem with our health, for example, a lot of women come to me, like 80% of women, they have problem with their gynecological sphere. Recently, one young lady, she is about like 21, she's very young, 21, she came to me with a big problem with her feminine organs. Some of that organs were cutted, so she had some surgeries, and she every month she had a lot of like flow of blood, and they're trying to invite her again for hospital to make more surgery. She did it already 3 times. And she told me, I know that it doesn't help. I don't want to go again to let my body to be cut with knives and all this awful stuff, but I don't know what to do. I want family, I want children, but I have pains every month, and it's awful. I don't want to live anymore. And when I did for her karmical diagnostic, do you know what I saw? I saw that many generations back, it was like grandmother. She was very beautiful, fantastic, beautiful woman. Very smart, very beautiful. But in their village, they had neighbor with, like bad eye. Yeah? The woman who завидовала, envy, and they had some conflict, and then black magic and so happened. And can you imagine that after that generation, after this grandmother, all generations after her, in the women lineage, they had broken relationship. In one generation, they couldn't find the partner, or they couldn't have baby, they couldn't be pregnant. In other generation, they found their partners, but all of them were some difficulties, conflict, alcoholic, and so on. And so one by one, each generation after this that spirit influenced more stronger, more heavier. And finally, I saw the result that after these several generations, this young lady, 21 years old, I saw her, I said her, and said, oh, she's so nice. No negative reactions, no negative emotion on the face, no critics. So she's like positive lady, everything is okay. So I understand that she cannot receive these implants in this life. It means that it happens before. But she had such a strong problem with her health. She cannot have baby. She cannot just relax because every time she has a lot of pain. Why is? Because this bad spirit. Okay. How we can recognize if in our family lineage, or in our lineage, in our ancestors' lineage, we have some influence of the bad spirit? Do you know? Do you want to diagnostic?
As a male, I feel I'm qualified to answer in this instance, so I do not know.
What was the question?
Yes.
Maybe a
I-
recurring theme, something recurring?
What was
Yeah.
the question?
Like how do you know there's something blocking you from the family lineage in your life, right?
Also, yes. For example, if somebody in your family or somebody in your around your relatives, they have, for example, cancer, or they have, for example, some disease which is not light, very strong, very deep disease. This is the result of this like bad spirit, which from generation to generation accumulate more deeper and more difficult lesson.
Reminded of a Borgia curse or a Romani bad, what you call bad spirits could be a bad intention that someone, because of the envy of generations ago, was placed upon. Oh, I curse your line for 7 generations, and the belief that this is possible is part, perhaps, of what allows us to fall prey to bad spirits. And so the usefulness of paying attention to how the bad spirit comes in, is it in my emotions, is it carried?
Yes, we will speak about, yes, thank you very much, thank you very much. Just, we'll go through step by step, okay? So when we can see some diseases in our lineage, in our family, it means that it's not happened just suddenly, yes? Before, there are some steps that this bad spirit receive more energy, more support, more power. Why the spirit drop? Another situation, if in our family or in our ancestors or in the circle of our relatives, we have some problem with like money, poverty. In reality, it's a disease. It's the influence of the bad spirit of poverty, who try to steal the energy from our vital power, from our inner power, because a lot of energy goes to such bad spirits who steal it, who eat it, and inside we could feel like emptiness, like not self-awareness, self-confidence. Like I'm not sure what I'm doing, I'm not like good enough. Different thoughts comes, but it's not your thoughts. I very recommend you to read 2 books. These books are written by my master, and there is very easy described this process. How these bad spirits, how these like larvas, like energetical creatures, they are entering our subtle bodies, our auras, and how they steal, they eat the energy. They do it through our thoughts. They do it through our like negative emotions. And sometimes you could feel, oh, I'm like nervous, or like I'd like to criticize somebody, I have negative emotions. But in reality, it's not our, it's the like such influence of provocation of such bad spirit, because this bad spirit, he wants us to react and to eat these emotions, because they eat negative energies, negative emotions. They like it. It's very tasty for them. And for example, when, beautiful, happy family, yes, good couple, they have spent together 10 years, and everything was wonderful. But suddenly, a woman start to make like critic. oh, why you don't do it? Why you don't do this? Why you don't go for work? Why you don't earn money? Or for example, he does the same. Suddenly this conflict energy appear. Why? Yes, we can say that it's not good, like in the childhood, not good education. But it has started exactly now, for example. Yes, it is also can be the influence of astrology, some negative influence of the planets. But it will not happen if this bad spirit of negative aggressivity reactions already live somewhere in our house. And what for we do spiritual practice, for example? Because spiritual practice, they help to create the field of protection, very strong protection. For example, when we meditate, when we pray, when we do special energetical feminine practice, which help us to reconnect with our feminine essence. All this inner energetical work help us to create this very strong protection field from all these negative influences. Is it? Okay. What else? How we can see and test if the bad spirit influence on our ancestors and family lineage? What diseases? So we spoke about poverty, we spoke about lack of money, we spoke about cancer. What else? Also, yes, about relationship. I met very often the situation when, for example, a woman tried to create good relationship, to bring, to create harmony, to help to create a family. But from time to time, something stopped her. I remember it was in Moscow. One woman, she was about 35 years old, blonde, rather successful lady. She has already a girl, about 12 years old, and looks like good family. But when she came to me to consultation, she discussed, she told me, you know, that my previous husband, he suicided himself. Suicide. At the balcony. Just suddenly. I couldn't understand why he did it. I was shocked. But the point is that before, like about 4 or 5 years before, she had another husband. And this husband jumped out from the house.
I can see,
Yes.
when you have memories, I can
You
get
have
them.
very good vision,
Yeah.
yes, I understand. And this happens in her life from time to time. Why? Is she guilty of this? No. She doesn't want it, she didn't want it. But again, this influence of bad spirit which came from many, many past generations, he accumulated such a strong power that he is able to damage and to destroy this life. So what I'm trying to explain you through all these situations, that if in our families, in our circle of relatives, in your life, happens something that you feel it's not mine, so it's not my fault. Maybe I'm not good, okay, I'm not perfect, but the disease very strong, or the situation is very hard. It means that the roots of this situation, of this influence, you need to search before and look through your generations and to understand why this happens, in what part of your generation ancestors' line, what happened, why the spirit of your ancestors' lineage allow this spirit to enter. What for? What is the lesson? Why? That's why from the very beginning of my lecture, I told that, please believe me, that you're here not just an occasion. Your ancestors prayed a lot because they already understand. They already understood why this lesson was given to them. And they are trying to help you to recognize, to understand this too, because they need the help from you. They cannot help themselves now, but you can, because you're here in this physical body, and you're chosen one, because through you, the spirit of ancestors awaken and express. And even you feel maybe sometimes it's hard mission, but you have a lot of power. That's why you're chosen one.
But I don't think that we have to connect with generations. I think we have to connect with nature.
Of course, without
And we have
nature.
to connect not on the people that maybe have a bad spirit in their life, but it's our life where we connect with the nature. This is the truth. And actually, if we're talking about balance between the financial world and the spiritual world, it's all the creatures that was born in this land. They was born by their purpose on exactly this point, under exactly this tree or whatever in this nature, and this planet is interesting to feed us. It's interesting that we live here because we are creatures, and financial world is something that we create. It's not for us. This is what we create for somebody.
Yes.
That's
I
why.
agree.
This is what we create. It's not true. The truth only one. And we see right here that this truth. That's why nature, that's why try to find the truth in themselves, in ourselves, in our souls, not in other generations. Our generation is so bad because it's another story. It's another everything. Everything is changed.
I understand what you mean. Thank you very much. I understand. I also feel this. The thing is that yes, we are here, and this is the most important to find to connect with this nature. But also we have somebody before us, and they pray.
Yeah, this is the spirits.
Yes,
This is our gods. This is I mean this is not the gods. This is everything what around us.
Yes.
Right now.
Recently, when I did a lecture, and I used several times the word God, then somebody came to me and told, better not to use this word, God. I don't know why. Because this is more about religion. I know, okay, but what about? But people in the United States, they're so different. They are from different cultures. They're from different religions. And this topic is a little bit confusing, but better to speak about spirituality, because spirituality is something that unites us. It's our inner.
It's our truth.
It's our truth. And she recommended me to use this word. Truth. That's why. Yes.
Truth is only one.
Yes, truth. I agree. Truth is only one. And.
Истина и правда.
Huh?
Истина и правда.
Истинная правда?
Which one? One truth?
Yes, only one truth.
Yes, everybody has.
The all it is the all it is, and there is
Yes.
one all it is. We're all in the all it is, in personal.
Diana, I have a question for
Okay,
you, my dear.
Yes, thank you.
And I'm fascinated that I'm here. I didn't know I would be here, but I've been in prayer for a long time. And I want to understand how you see your revelation. What you say is the self. Are we all the self?
Sorry,
Как вам пришло это понятие, это открытие, что у него вопрос, мы все сами по себе. When you say all we're self, it's like by yourself.
We're a singularity. We're
Yeah, like you're
individuals. We're all
separated
different
and
psyches. I understand all that. But do you believe,
Okay.
as this young woman said,
Uh-huh.
that we're all expressions of the same self, the one, a plurality of the one?
I just can share mine, okay?
Yeah, I wanna ask you.
Yes. I believe as I feel. Okay? I feel that at the level, at some level, we are really one, united. But as I understood the knowledge that my master shared with me, we have like a personality, individuality, yes? Something we have from the society. Personality is something which is given to us by society. Some ideas, some purposes, some like programs.
Conditioning.
Conditioning. But if to liberate from all these conditions, yes, from this mask, from these programs,
From the persona.
from personality, what we will have? We also have this from divine, the spirit. Maybe you'll name it another, we call it another name.
I know,
yes,
yeah,
like divine self, something where we are together, united. How I proved it to myself? Because very often when we do together meditations, when we do prayers together, spiritual practice, we can listen and feel each other without any words. We feel the same. We receive the same like state of grace, inspiration, and just looking in you, I can feel you're in myself, and I also can.
So when we see each other, we see the beloved. We see the other.
Maybe
Yeah.
you're talking about the ego.
No,
Yeah.
more than the
Maybe you're
ego.
talking- This is like the cover that just separated us.
Yeah, the
from
ego
each other.
covers the true self,
Yes.
the psyche, the soul,
This is,
but the
yes.
spirit. in
If
each
I
one of
would
us.
have something to draw, I like very much the picture about what you say about this personality and ego, that it's some like programs or personality conditions which like cover, like egg, you know, like egg cover us. And I remember this picture which my master drew me, like a small chicken inside this egg, yes? And this chicken like a tuk tuk. And this egg, it's this, what you say?
Matrushka.
Matryoshka, yes, something that limit us, block us from this true, open big true. And this is personality, this egg. But this chicken, tick tick, yeah, chicken, it is our essence, our nature, our energy. And what happened when we tick tick go outside? Yes, we connect with some like truth. We connect with something like divine, like high self, something which also we are. But for this, we need destroy.
It's our
egg.
growing. It's our growing always, because the ego, when we build the ego, we have different levels of building them.
Yes.
And all the way destroy the ego, it's our growing, it's our building, it's our foundation. That we know after that we exactly build, and what we exactly know when we pass through all this growing.
Mm-hmm.
This is ego. We need the ego to, we need to feel pain, to know what is this, the pain. Without that, we don't know that. We don't know how to convey it and to give more.
What you're saying is we have to have an experience of what something is
Of
not.
course. Unfortunately, 90% of people who come to our diagnostics or consultations or some rituals or some healing, why they came? Because they have this pain, problem, something pushed them to have this desire to change their life. But before, they do not have these lessons, they do not have this problem, they do not have these pains. Only a few percentage of people from the very childhood, as I told you before, are already born with the idea that I need to develop spiritually, that I need to find my spiritual master, that I want to achieve the connection with the higher self. It's like a pyramid, like a biggest part of this down part of the pyramid. It's people who are more oriented for our like regular purposes. Yes, to be healthy, to create a good family, to earn money, but very, very, very small. And these people are blessed if you feel that you're from this percentage, that you're already here to help your ancestors, to help the whole planet, to really you're ready to pray for people in other countries.
And
This
the
is the
healthy have no
greatest
need for a
gift that you
physician.
can bring to this world. Because just only a few people really, and that's why I'm so grateful for you all that you're here, because I hope that we'll pray together today for a world without wars, for a world without diseases, for a world without AIDS. When we start to help God, divine power, when we start to help the highest, something highest, this highest help us, and all problems solved. It's a magic.
We guys.
Yes, thank you very much for all your questions, and I very appreciate when people ask questions. It means that we are awakening, and you help me to awaken more. And I want also to propose Ladomira to share her experience about examples, because she has very, very deep experience with purifying, cleaning their ancestors' lineage, to help the spirit of power of the family to awaken, to heal, and because really we can help our ancestors. I believe in this because I know the result, how it works. And
Can you tell me, I was adopted, I don't know who my birth mother was, I never met her, and I don't know who my father was, except we were black-haired and brown-eyed. So if you have a suggestion about how to reconnect with the family, with my birth mother, other than through intention and through the work here, I'd love to have you share that with me, maybe without even words, but I know that your teachers can talk to my teachers and that they don't require our words. We can dream work when we're not in these bodies. And I know I will see you. And I know I will see you again. And not necessarily in these bodies today. I recognize you as a majestic singing witch. I know the priestess lines when I see them, and I know the symbols of our peoples, even though I was adopted into the families here. We've been waiting for you, and we don't wait anymore. Bless you for coming.
of course, there is a possibility. I have met such situations with adopted children, and it's possible. It is possible to do in a group. It's possible to recognize in the big ritual when we have a field of people who help also to connect this lineage. Also, it is possible, it is some more personal. It is possible to do like individual work, because sometimes there is something that you.
If there's a bit that is more appropriate for that, then will let us know. Yeah, and we will are appropriately directed always. In every language.
I think it's more closer comes the time for practicing for the ritual. I hope that we'll have more time to discuss. I would love to do it. And today we will devote our time, our energy to recognize and to review why we're here, and to feel this power, this connection with our ancestors, family lineage, to receive, it's interesting about roots. Here also we speak about roots. When I came here, I